Hi everyone, I'm finally getting around to doing this name decal video to show you how to do it. I do apologise, my design space is running a little bit slow tonight, but hopefully it does what I wanted to do because it wouldn't a second ago. So what you're first going to need to do is to insert the name. I am going to use Hey Butterfly, which you can find on Font Bundles for free. I'm happy to pop a link in the post below, so you can see it and kind of get the link to it easily. But it comes with commercial use as well, so that's handy. There's a few fonts on there that come with commercial use. Just download to your device and then restart Design Space and it'll appear in here. So I'm going to do this decal about 12 inches, I think. Right, so what I'm first going to do is I'm going to ungroup and I'm going to send me letters with a centre in them to the back. This just stops them in filling when I weld it. It's with being a script font, I do want it welded because I do want it cut as one. If you're using the app, so using it on the iPad or the Android, then you're going, or on your phone, you need an app called Fonto. You'll have to do a tutorial, you'll have to kind of do a quick YouTube search on that as to how to do the offset, and I think it's fairly easy once you're in there, but I haven't used it myself. But you can't use the offset feature on that app version, only on the desktop. So this is going to be my name, and I'm going to keep that in black for the purpose of this demonstration. And then what you're going to do is you need to offset it. Normally once I give this a little kind of move around, it normally kind of kickstarts in the offset. It is a bit slow, I do apologise. I'm just going to make that just a little bit bigger, I think. You can make this as wide or as thin as you want it to. It's entirely up to yourself. You can kind of see it changes there if it goes back down again. There we go. So I'm just going to hit apply, and then I'm just going to come back, and I just want to move. I've got two lots here. I don't know why. I'm just going to infill the centre of this offset layer here, just using the contour option. I'm just going to come and click on it. You can just click down the layer panel when it loads and moves a little bit. Now I'm going to change this to a lighter colour simply because on the design mat is where you will need to manipulate this in order to get it to cut through it fully on the third layer. You need to offset your offset layer again. It doesn't need to be so big this time. This is kind of where it's going to cut fully through. So it doesn't need to be huge. Again, I'm going to change it to a lighter colour just so that I can see it on the mat. If you work in dark colours, it's very difficult to kind of line it up once you send it to the mat. So I definitely recommend working in light colours, and it's not going to make any difference what colour you load onto your mat and put through your machine or what colours you use on here, because it doesn't recognise that. It's just the colours making it easier for yourself for design. So I'm just going to click make it. It is worth saving at this point if you are kind of going to come back and reuse it a few times. I'm just going to leave the black top layer as it is. I don't need to do anything with that one, and then I'm going to come down to the bottom two, which is what I need to move on the mat. So my blue layer was essentially the silver layer on my decal, so the base of my decal, but not the bit that I want to cut fully around. And I'm just going to come up here and click these three dots, so you can see I can kind of freely move it around the mat. And on these three dots in the top left, you will have move object and hide select. I'm just going to click move object, and then it's going to bring up your other mat, and I need to move it to the mat that's kind of got the thicker offset layer. So in my case, it's the pink one. It's worth having a notepad here. And as you can kind of see, it's automatically changed colour. Again, I can move either of these around the mat. So what you need to do is you need to kind of centre up, just kind of eyeball it, the two layers together, kind of just align them up. And then what you need to do is you need to click on the thinner one, so the smaller offset layer, and you're just going to click the three dots and you're going to move object, and you're going to take it back to its original mat. Now when you take it back to the original mat, do not move it. This is important because it's lined up with that bottom pink layer, and if you move it now, it's then not going to line up neatly when you cut that bottom pink layer. So when you move it back to its mat, do not move it. And then I'm just going to move to my top, and I'm just going to hit to continue to send it a cut. Now I'm going to do this video in 2 steps. I'm hoping I can edit the 2 parts together, because I'm using 2 different parts of software, because I need a different webcam that kind of overhangs the machine. It's do something I need to get, and I plan on getting, but at the moment I'm using my phone to record the machine cutting part, so if it doesn't work, then I'll upload this 2 parts. Hi guys, this is either going to be part 2, or hopefully I can edit these together with any luck. Just a word of warning, because I've just made this mistake not once but twice now. If at any point you're going to go back from the matte screen once you've sent it to kind of to cut after you've manipulated it, and you're going to go back to your design space for whatever reason, make sure you repeat them steps, because I haven't twice now, and I'm getting myself frustrated. So I'm going to cut the name first, and I'm going to cut on the premium outdoor vinyl setting. This is on the A3 on my maker, though I normally just use the matte vinyl setting. This is the premium matte vinyl from Cricut. I prefer matte. I'm not keen on gloss. So I'm just going to cut this first, the name. I'm just hoping it's on the name and nothing else, because, you know, a round 3 attempt at this is just getting a bit ridiculous. I'm going to use this nice shiny blue because I'm getting low on satin metallica that I have used on the silver one before. But if you want the silver that I used on the decal on the picture, I will put a picture up with this, as well as the picture that I know a few of you commented on. That is the satin metallica hollow silver from Cricut. On the website it is under adhesive vinyls, metallic, and then down to satin metallica, and then you need to scroll down to hollow silver. Now when you're removing your vinyl, flip your mat over. It stops it curling, especially if it's quite new in a sticky mat. I'm just going to scrape this on just to make sure it's down well, and then I'm going to cut. So on the purpose of the video, I'm cutting the blue layer first. So this is the base layer for my decal, and I'm just going to cut it on premium outdoor, and normally cuts through this as well. I'm hoping it's going to for the purpose of this. Time will tell if it goes all the way through or not, won't it? If need be, just double cut it. Just press to cut again. On the maker, it's press the C. On the air, it's a little arrow. On the A3 or the Maker 3, it's a little arrow. So I'm just going to get this to cut. And while that's cutting, I'm just going to quickly read this vinyl name. Now, I don't know if this is cut all the way through and off, but never mind. What I would say fill a sheet of this and make life a bit easier. So what I'm just going to do is, I'm hoping you can kind of see here. I know it's a bit tricky because I haven't got, I'm hoping if I shine it up, that's quite a reflection on that vinyl. We'll maybe shimmer it back a bit. But here I've got the decal bit section. What I should have done is I should have trimmed this down before sending it a cut. It's just easier. Just make it slightly bigger than your overall size of your bottom decal. So I'm just going to apply the name. I'm not taking this off the mat whatsoever. Whatever you do, do not take this off the mat, because then it's not going to line up and it'll completely just fall to pieces like mine has 3 times now. So I'm just going to carefully line that up as best I can. I'm not bothered if it's not perfect. This is one of the rainbow pearls. I think it might be the white. I'm just going to carefully pull that off there. You can cut this with the transfer tape on as well. And you just kind of would need to just make sure that the transfer tape cuts nicely and it's the same shape of it, especially if you're sending it to customers as well. So what you would need to do is kind of repeat this part of the stage twice, but after the first part, weed it slightly and put your transfer tape on and then just recut it. So I'm going to pop it back in and I'm going to now cut the pink layer, which is the bottom layer of the sticker, and what I want this to cut fully through. Now I just use cardstock because I know it goes all the way through. So I just use cardstock on this bit, and I'm hoping you can see. So I haven't moved this off the mat at all. I've left it on there, and I'll show you how to do it with the transfer tape as well. I'll just put a bit of transfer tape off. It's why it's worth cutting these in bulk. If you've got a few orders going, you'll kind of get in the routine of filling your A4 sheet of paper. If you're kind of worried about filling the A4 sheet of paper, do it on the design space when you're designing, and kind of insert a rectangle to A4 size and kind of manipulate them around that way. So let's hope it's gone all the way through, as you can see. Yes, it has. So I'm going to unload my mat. Now I can remove this part because I don't necessarily need this right now, and the rest of it. Here's a good way of using up scraps this. So I'm just going to take off the outer edge of this bit. So you can kind of see that I've got that border there. Just be careful, I've just ripped this slightly there. This is just so we don't, I'm not bothered, so just be careful moving it. So hopefully you can see there that we've got the outer edge border. I'm trying to kind of dinging this without the screen. I don't want to move it because I'm going to send it back through. So you could just take it off here, but with it being a decal, I'm just going to pop my transfer tape over it. I am not moving it off my mat because I need that on there. But if I was sending this to a customer, I would apply this on, and then I'm just going to go back and I'm just going to cut that pink layer again. Don't move it because it will then muck it up all together. So I'm just sending it back in a cut on the same settings I cut it on before, and then that would trim round the transfer tape so it's the same size and shape as the rest of the decal. Just gives a bit more professional finish for posting. These wrapped in something, but I don't know what. clear card set and it'll cut through it twice. Maybe you try less, it might not cut through twice. So then I'm just going to unload it. I'm just going to flip it over, and then as you can see, there we go. We'll have the decal, and if I just kind of burnish it on the front there and on the back, and then what I tend to do is I tend to make sure I can just peel it off. Just grab a corner there, and there you go. You can kind of see it can be peeled off, so that's handy for the customer. So yeah, as you can see, it's a finished product there, and it's just a bit more of a professional finish, as I said, for posting out to people. I hope you find that helpful. If you've got any questions, or just pop them in the comment and I'm happy to answer. Thanks.